So I was after we decided that we were going to do this interview, I did a little bit of research and I came across a video on YouTube titled "Men of March." It's about your coach Tommy Amaker.
Yeah.
And the athletic director at Harvard was asking why he wants to take this position at Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he said. He said, "Bob, my mother was a teacher. I actually really believe that I teach valuable lessons through the sport of basketball, and there's no place better to do it than a place that values education as much as Harvard." My question is, what lessons has he taught you through basketball?
Coach Amaker is the professor. He's like a yoga. He's a major influence in my life. Mm-hmm. It's a joke on our team. He's very quotable. Like he has before practice, he'll have like a quote of the and we kind of poke fun at it, but at the end of the day, I remember my senior year, we were kind of going through a rough patch of the season, and he gave us like an assignment to like write a story about like kind of how we wanted the season to go. And then so I reached out to everyone in the team. I basically just asked them for like a quote from Coach Amaker, like a lesson from Coach Amaker. We compiled a book.
Oh wow!
Like one quote for each person on the team of just like a lesson Coach Amaker taught us, from like stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Gotcha. Or
make your layups, which is something that like really sticks with me to this day. Like, how do you succeed in the workforce? Like, you make your layups. Like, when there's easy opportunities, like, for example, even in school, like, going to class is easy. Like, you don't need to be the smartest person in the world to go to class. You don't need to, be an actual physicist. It doesn't cost any money. Like, if you go to class, your grades will be better than if you didn't go to class. So, like, that's a layup. That's easy, right? Or, like, at work, like, check your work. Like, you might not be the fastest person, but you can be careful, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, after you do something, you print it out, you look at it, and you review it. That's the layup.
Got you.
So, like, making those layups, that's, like, a lesson he taught me. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It's amazing what we can accomplish when nobody cares who gets the credit. That's another thing he likes to impart on us. So, like, he has all these little quotables and lessons that he's taught us through basketball. And, but one that really resonates with me, and, it's a little bit outside of basketball, and, like, it kind of appears in a lot of the stuff I do outside of basketball, is this quote he likes is, like, do well and do good. Mm-hmm. And it's the idea that, like, people impart on you. I touched on a little bit in my graduation speech. The idea that, like, to be successful is to be super rich.
Yeah.
Or the idea of being successful is to own a lot of things, to have the best job, to be seen as the most famous, etc. Like, all these individual things.
Yes.
And it's like, that's the idea of, like, okay, but are you doing good? Like, what have you done for others?
Gotcha.
So the idea of, like, yes, do well, provide for your family. Be able to, do the things that you like to do for fun. Mm-hmm. But also, like, do good for others. Like, you, especially, going to a university like Harvard, where we are blessed with these privileges, blessed with just privilege in general. Like, there's a lot of things that I can have access to just by means of attending that school that, like, other people don't have access to. Mm-hmm. And, like, understanding that that's a privilege, and it doesn't mean that I'm smarter than anybody, it doesn't mean I'm more talented. It's just, like, I was more fortunate. Like, I could have been born, I grew up in a suburban area where, the school system was one thing, and, like, resources that I had access to resources a lot of people might not have access to in other places. When I needed help with my SAT, I was able to afford a tutor, like little things like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm a product of hard work, yes, my parents' work, yes, but also a privilege of circumstance, right? And just being able to understand that, and understand that my success isn't my success. Gotcha. And understanding that, it's my duty, after being given this privilege and being able to kind of win that lottery, to utilize that privilege to help others.
Gotcha.
And give people access to that.
So Coach Amaker wasn't just a coach, he was also a professor in a way.
Yeah, he does things like faculty dinner, like he'll bring in like Dr. Cornell West.
Yeah. We
had like a team dinner with him, and he just talked, he like kind of lectured to us for an hour, and we just got to like pick his brain, ask him questions. Mm-hmm. He organized an event at the Institute of Politics where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came and talked about, some of the stuff he's encountered. Dr. Harry Edwards, who helped organize the 1968 Olympic protests.
Yeah.
Like, I got to, Coach Amaker brought him to campus. We had discussions with him
Wow.
I actually got close. He helped me actually with a lot of my No More Name stuff. So like that's all stuff that doesn't even we're not on the court.
Yeah.
And that's some of the stuff that I appreciate most from Coach Amaker. He really helped me form as a man.